Two senior members of the shadow cabinet have rejected a call from a fellow Labour MP for a general strike to force the government to call a general election. To enthusiastic cheers from delegates at a Labour conference fringe event, Laura Smith, the MP for Crewe and Nantwich, said, "Comrades, we must topple this cruel and callous Tory government as soon as we can. And if we can't get a general election, we should organise with our brothers and sisters in the trade union movement to bring an end to this government with a general strike." But the Shadow Business Secretary, Rebecca Long-Bailey, said a general strike was not Labour Party policy, and the party's deputy leader, Tom Watson, said the idea was not particularly helpful. Speaking on BBC Radio 4's Today programme, Long-Bailey put Smith's call down to over-exuberance. "Laura is an absolutely amazing MP. She's so full of energy and enthusiasm, but we are certainly not advocating general strikes," she said. Watson told the programme, "I'm sure she got a bit carried away with herself." He said the history of the 1926 general strike showed it was an absolute failure for the working class, pointing out that the Prime Minister of the day, Stanley Baldwin, survived the action. "It didn't work on its own terms," Watson said. Long-Bailey also said the Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, did not intend to attack previous Labour governments in his speech to the conference later on Wednesday. Corbyn will remind delegates of the devastating consequences of the financial crash of 2008. He will say, instead of making essential changes to a broken economic system, the political and corporate establishment strained every sinew to bail out and prop up the system that led to the crash in the first place. Long-Bailey claimed this was not a criticism of the former Labour Prime Minister Gordon Brown and his Chancellor, Alistair Darling. She said, "It was a situation that the then Labour government was forced into in order to make sure our economy stayed afloat. They were required to step in and address the mistakes of financial institutions that, unfortunately, were operating outside of the norms of moral conduct." She added, "He's attacking the capitalist system that was prevalent at that time. We had a number of institutions operating outside the bounds of moral acceptability. Unfortunately, years later, many of our communities are still paying for that." He's certainly not attacking the Labour Party. Watson said he was disappointed by focus group research that suggested Labour under Corbyn was more associated with quinoa than with a pint. Watson said most of his friends didn't know how to pronounce quinoa. "And it is not on my new diet list, so I was very disappointed when I read that, because I'm definitely a meat and two veg man."